On the bitterly cold morning of the 16th of December 1944, in a quiet corner of Belgium, near the village of Lanzerath, 18 young American soldiers faced down the fury of Hitler's last great offensive in the West. What unfolded at the Lanzerath Ridge was not just a skirmish or a lucky delay. It was one of the most courageous small unit actions in the history of the US Army. These men, armed only with rifles, held off a battalion of German paratroopers for an entire day, delaying one of the most elite German units at a crucial moment in World War II. By December of 1944, the Allied forces had pushed the Germans back across France. Many believed that the war in Europe was nearing its end. But Adolf Hitler had one final gamble in mind: a surprise counteroffensive through the Ardennes forest, designed to split the Allied forces, recapture the port of Antwerp, and force a negotiated peace on the Western Front. This operation, codenamed Wacht am Rhein, would come to be known as the Battle of the Bulge due to the massive bulge it created in the Allied lines. To achieve surprise, the Germans launched their attack through the densely forested Ardennes, a region the Allies considered unlikely for a major German offensive. On the 16th of December 1944, under the cover of darkness and fog, over 200,000 German troops surged forward, supported by more than 1,000 tanks and assault guns. Leading the charge was the 6th Panzer Army, including the feared 1st SS Panzer Division, Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler, composed of hardened veterans and considered among Germany's most elite troops. The Americans guarding this sector belonged to the newly arrived 99th Infantry Division, most of them inexperienced and untested in combat. Among them was an intelligence and reconnaissance platoon of the 394th Infantry Regiment, a small group of just 18 men under Lieutenant Lyle Book. Alongside them were 4 forward artillery observers. These men were stationed on a snowy ridge near the village of Lanzerath, tasked primarily with observing enemy movements, not repelling a full-scale assault. As the sun rose on the 16th of December, the US platoon noticed abnormal activity across the German lines. Signs of movement, strange radio chatter, and large numbers of troops forming up. Book and his men quickly set up a hasty defense on the ridge, digging foxholes in the frozen ground, stringing barbed wire, and preparing for what they feared was coming. What came was a battalion of roughly 500 German Fallschirmjäger, paratroopers of the 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division. The 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division was a relatively newly raised German unit. Its formation began in October of 1943 and was fully organized by February of 1944. The members of this division were among the most politically indoctrinated of the German troops in the West, due to the extensive use of nationalsozialistische Führungsoffiziere, or National Socialist guidance officers, tasked with teaching Nazi ideology to German soldiers. Despite suffering tremendous casualties in the Normandy campaign, the 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division had fought from the first week of the invasion through its bitter end and had escaped as greatly reduced but largely still a cohesive unit. A US battalion commander wrote the following about this 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division. "Those Germans are the best soldiers I have ever seen. They are smart and they don't know what the word fear means. They come in and they keep coming until they get their job done or you kill them." The commander of the division, General Richard Schimpf, was awarded the Knight's Cross for the performance of his division during the Battle of Normandy. Love diving deeper into military history? This video is supported by my YouTube members who get exclusive videos weekly, not available anywhere else for their kind support. You can join their ranks easily. Just hit the join button now to get the exclusive videos and much more. Thank you for supporting me. I couldn't be doing it without your help. If you want to know more about Germany's Panzer tactics, check out my ebook in the description. During the Ardennes offensive, the division was subordinated to the 1st SS Panzer Corps. It attacked on the extreme left wing of the 1st SS Panzer Division, Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler. The 1st Battalion of its 9th Fallschirmjäger Regiment was attached to SS Obersturmbannführer Joachim Peiper's battle group to escort his heavy tanks. These were elite troops, battle-hardened and determined to break through quickly. Over the course of the day, the Germans launched wave after wave of attacks. But the Americans held firm. Despite being vastly outnumbered and lacking machine guns or heavy support weapons, the platoon used their rifles and grenades with devastating accuracy. They exploited the terrain and their prepared positions, firing with deadly discipline. Each German charge up the ridge was repelled, often with severe casualties. By the evening, the Americans had inflicted over 90 German casualties and still held their ground. Only after darkness fell and they were completely out of ammunition did the Germans finally flank and overwhelm their position. One by one, the Americans were captured, but they had done what seemed impossible. They had delayed the advance of the entire 1st SS Panzer Division for nearly 20 hours. The significance of this delay cannot be overstated. The Germans had counted on the rapid breakthroughs to reach key road junctions. Instead, traffic backed up for miles as the panzer columns were stalled behind the blocked advance. This delay allowed the Americans to reinforce their lines at Elsenborn Ridge and Sanwy, where further determined stands would blunt the German advance. Ultimately, the Battle of the Bulge would rage for more than a month. The Allies would eventually repel the offensive, inflicting massive losses on the Germans, both in manpower and material, from which they could never recover. As for the men of Lanzerath Ridge, their heroism was largely overlooked in the immediate aftermath of the war. Captured and marched into German POW camps, they returned home quietly. It was not until decades later that their story was fully recognized. In 1981, their extraordinary defense finally received the honor it deserved. Lieutenant Book and several members of his platoon were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the second highest military award for valor. Other members received Silver Stars and Bronze Stars. This platoon was later recognized as the most decorated American unit for its size in the entire war. The Battle of the Lanzerath Ridge is a testament to the power and courage of the face of overwhelming odds. These young Americans, poorly armed and lightly supported, delayed the advance of some of Nazi Germany's most fearsome troops at a pivotal moment in the war. Their stand didn't just save time, it saved lives and helped tip the balance during one of the most critical battles of the European theater. Their story reminds us that heroism isn't always measured in numbers, but in heart, resolve, and the unyielding refusal to surrender. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.